It's released me to tend to the things around the house that I need to do and not just say, well, that can wait. I can tend to my own needs now and learn better self-care. Hey friends, welcome back to Jenny and Tony and car update number 3. And if you missed the first 2 updates, go ahead and watch those if you want to get all caught up on what's been going on in our family. I'm actually filming from the Hobby Lobby parking lot. Fun fact about me is that I come to this exact spot like multiple times a week. So this is like my parking spot and it's kind of far away from the store. This has just become like a comfort to me to come park in this exact spot and just process through whatever I process through. And I, of course, always do it alone. I don't usually do it on camera, but I have done it this entire journey. And I don't know what it is about it, but sometimes it's I've left the hospital and I'm still crying and I don't want to go home crying to the kids. This is on the way home. So I just pull up in here and I just process everything through, let it all go. And then I just, go back to the house and I'm okay. Other times it's because I have thinking to do and strategizing to do. And, it's a crazy summer house with like all of Alex's friends coming in and out, just lots of commotion, lots of stuff. It's just summer. I don't know if you guys know, like summer is just hustle and bustle, in and out, house constantly getting crazy. And sometimes I just need to think and, figure out how am I going to pay this bill, or how am I going to deal with this medical person that's calling me, or this insurance company, or this claim. Or I just need to speak to someone on the phone and have it be quiet so I can focus. And I will just get to the point where I'm like, I'm going to my spot. This parking spot is a coping mechanism. And it's actually worked. Believe it or not, it's actually worked. I'm not gonna knock it at all. It has worked very, very well. And I know I can just come right over to my spot. I can process everything I need to process, and then I can go on with my day. So I thought I'd take you guys to the spot today and do our car chat in this spot, since it's a happy spot for me and it's a spot where I feel like I do all of my best processing. So I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy it. I know there's not much of a view, but it's kind of my happy place right now. So today I wanted to just kind of repeat the same structure of the video that we've done on previous videos, and I'll go ahead and share the updates from this week, and then I'll answer some questions from the comments, just kind of pick as many as I can to address and answer. And thank you guys so much for all the wonderful comments. That has been so helpful in this journey. It's given me a lot to really think about, research, Google, and just talk to his medical team about. So a lot of your ideas are really good, and just things that we either have already ruled out or things we still need to rule out. And so it's really helpful when you're going on what's called a zebra case journey. It's really important to kind of look at it from all sides, because you never know where the answer is going to come from. So a zebra case is an unexplained illness or a mystery illness that you have a set of symptoms that can be proven, but you're not sure what the underlying cause is or main reason for the symptoms to begin with. So we are just managing Tony's symptoms. He does have what's called a zebra case. It's very helpful just being able to go through this along with you guys and kind of bring in all these different ideas and all these different avenues just in trying to figure out and solve this problem. So it's very helpful. I just wanted to thank you again for that. And then I have a surprise for you guys at the end of the video. I have a little video of Tony and a message that he wanted to share with you guys from his heart. So I have that at the end of the video. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and thank you so much for being here. Make sure you're subscribed, and that way you won't miss any videos. And if you'd like to support our channel, please go ahead and like this video, maybe share it with a friend, or watch previous videos. That really helps us a lot and supports our family. So thank you very much. Okay, so the main issue this week has been just, again, stabilizing his vitals. So we're trying to get him to be able to leave ICU and stabilize, maybe in a step down or a regular room, and then eventually make it to rehab. The social worker and his home health nurse and really the whole team just thinks that he needs more rehabilitation. He has really just continued to decline when he is sent home straight from the hospital and doesn't receive the rehab that he needs. He's gotten a lot weaker, he's gotten a lot thinner, and he really just needs extensive rehab in order to possibly start gaining back function, gaining back movement, and just really go back to just some kind of baseline where he could sit up in bed or sit up in a wheelchair and not just be laying down all the time. He doesn't have the strength for it right now, but they're really trying so hard. His team of nurses is wonderful at our hospital. I have really enjoyed just getting to know him a little bit when they take such good care of Tony. And they really care about him. I can tell they really care about him, and they're really trying. Even the nurses are trying to figure this out. Like they're Googling symptoms on their lunch breaks. Like they tell me that they talk about Tony, and they're like, oh, he had this symptom today. Let's add that to the list and add that, start Googling that and see what we can come up with. So they're so sweet. They are actually trying to figure out his illness, like on their downtime. They've come to love him. They've come to know him, and they're just wonderful. So they are all just trying to get this man to rehab. So the main obstacle this week that kept him from being stable is potassium levels. It's another thing that's happened from time to time in this journey, that he'll get potassium spikes, and they'll just get so high that it becomes very dangerous. And they have to go in, and there's medicine that they give. It's actually really crazy. It's just this huge like syringe that they'll put into an IV, and they push so much medicine all at one time because it's almost like a rescue dose to get the potassium to go down. And I'm not sure what it's called or what it is, but I've seen him get it a couple times, and that was the main thing that was just unstable this week that kept him from progressing and being able to get out of ICU. The other thing that's still happening is his breathing. So Tony is able to breathe on his own for the most part, but it's just such a struggle, and he's really not able to take the full breath that he really needs to take. So he is on oxygen, and he's been on oxygen for a while now. It really helps him to relax and be able to breathe. It helps him to sleep, and it just gives him that extra boost that he needs. He does have pneumonia. That's another thing that he's had off and on this whole journey, because, you know, when you're laying down in bed and you're just in a hospital, and you're frequently a patient, I think that you're way more prone to pneumonia. So, you know, if you're in the medical field and you can vouch for that, I think that just the movement of walking and doing your normal life helps keep fluid out of your lungs and helps everything keep moving. And so he's developed a lot of fluid in both lungs. They're not overly concerned about it because it does happen from time to time, but they are monitoring it, and they do give him oxygen just to make breathing a little bit easier for him. Physical therapy has still been coming into the room once a day, and they stretch him out. They stretch his legs, they stretch his arms, they make sure that his circulation's as good as it possibly can be, moving his body for him and keeping up with lymphatic and, you know, drainage, swelling. It just really helps with blood flow and just all those important things. And as for me, I'm actually doing a lot better too. I figured I'd update about myself too while I'm at it. I think a lot of you guys noticed that on my last video that I seemed calmer, less anxious, less stressed, a little bit happier, and obviously not as emotional. That has definitely been really helpful because, you know, in this past 2 weeks or 3 weeks since I filmed that first video, I guess now it's been a while, you know, it might be close to a month, but I really do feel better. And I don't feel better because everything has changed and gotten better and all of, you know, the problems have been solved. It's not really that, but I found a way to just center myself. And I think part of it is just the stage of grief that I was in, because I have been on this grief journey for 13 months now. And I mean, the grief started when all this happened, and it started with denial. It really did. It started with, this can't be happening. This isn't supposed to be happening. I'm just gonna pretend like this isn't happening, you know? And I really do feel like I've come to a version of acceptance. And I don't mean to say that I won't go through all the stages of grief all over again, because I probably will. I think that grief is in cycles. I don't think that it all happens in the same order every time, or that all people go through grief the same way. Certainly not. But I do think that grief is complex. And I don't think it's just like the emotion of being sad. I think that grief is a complex emotion and journey. And so I will say that I have been going through the complexities of that journey for a while now. And I've landed right now on acceptance. I don't know how long I'll stay there. I don't know how long it'll last, but it feels good. It still feels sad and it still feels unreal, but it feels, there's a peace there that, that even if he doesn't get better this week, or even if he doesn't get better next week, I'm okay. I'll be okay. And it doesn't mean that I won't be sad. It doesn't mean I won't be grieving. I'm still going to be grieving, but I'll overall be okay. Other people have gone through grief journeys, and I will too. And I don't know how else to describe it, but something has changed in me that even though none of this is okay, I'm okay. And I think it's just like a peace, not only from God, but I think it's also a peace from digging deep in myself and allowing myself not to be in control. It was like a release or a surrender to say, like, no, I'm not in control of this. I'm thinking I am for the longest time, and that hasn't gone very well. I'm not in control of this. And there's a peace that comes with that, because if you are in control, then you're still like gripping the wheel. You're still like, just trying to put all your energy into making something go a different way. And that is so exhausting. It's the most exhausting thing I've ever gone through, is trying to like steer this car a different way, like with this grief journey, and try to make this all be different. And since I've let go of all that and just said, that's not my job is to support Tony through this and advocate for him as best I can. My job is not to control this whole situation. That has released me to be a better mother to my kids and put more focus on them. It's released me to tend to the things around the house that I need to do, and not just say, well, that can wait. Well, no, it's not going to wait anymore. I can do those things. I can tend to my own needs now and learn better self-care. And I've learned that self-care for me is about responding to my own needs. I mean, it's as simple as that. I made it so complicated. But self-care is like being in tune with what I actually need. Not just pampering myself all the time or neglecting myself all the time, but finding that balance of, how do I parent myself? How do I love myself? How do I take care of myself as if I would take care of my own child? Because my needs do matter. And there was so long that I just didn't think that they mattered, or I thought that they would have to wait. And I'm choosing myself every day. And I'm also choosing Tony every day. And I'm also choosing the kids every day. But the difference is that I'm in the mix. I'm choosing myself too. I'm not just choosing him or them. I'm choosing me too. And I think that's what's changed and shifted for me, is that in order to do that, I had to accept that this is what was happening. And I really couldn't take that next step to take care of myself until I accepted what was happening. So that was kind of a long-winded answer, but that is kind of what I'm doing. And I hope to stay there. I hope to be able to stay in this place of acceptance and compassion, self-compassion, for as long as I can. Okay, now I'm going to answer a couple of questions real quick from the comments and just see if I can get through a few of those before we get to Tony's video. I know one of the first questions I got seemed to be about the vaccine. So, like a reaction to the vaccine. No, Tony has not gotten the vaccine. There are reasons for that. I'm definitely not going to get into that in the comments. So if anybody comes at me for him not being vaccinated, knock yourself out. I'm not going to entertain that. I'm not going to battle you in the comments about it. He has medical reasons that he wasn't on it. Done deal. Also, Lyme disease has been ruled out. And even other ones, like they ruled out in the beginning, they ruled out like, I think it was like West Nile, and there was a whole panel done on him to see if there was any like mysterious diseases or illnesses that infectious disease could catch early on. And those were all negative. So he doesn't have anything like that. Somebody asked about Tony's mom and how she was handling it being so far away. Tony's mom is a huge support to us. With her age and her situation, and getting on a plane would be very difficult for her, but she has come down one time to visit, which was really good. But we do talk every single day on the phone, and so usually when I go do my visit, we'll just do the phone call, and that way, because he can't use the phone right now, so that way I can dial the number, put it on speaker, and then she can talk to him, hear his voice, know that he's okay. She can always tell by the strength of his voice. So if he has a good, strong, deep voice like Tony usually does, she knows that everything's okay. And then if he's got that weaker, more frail, more confused voice, then she'll always sound a little more concerned and she'll ask a few more questions. But we do keep in touch with her every day. She's doing well. And then she updates the rest of the family for us, just so that I'm not constantly having to update. You know, he has a huge family, and they're all 1,000 miles away. So she updates everybody else for us, which is really helpful. Another person asked if Tony's job could be remote so that he could get to work again. Tony's job already is remote, so he works cybersecurity remotely and has for a good while now. I guess 5 years. I think about 5 years he's been remote. So he really enjoys that. The only thing that's keeping him from working is the vitals crashing. It's not the MD. If it was just muscular dystrophy, I mean, he figured out, how to get around that a long time ago. Ever since he's been remote, he just types with so Tony's hands are kind of like this. They're kind of closed because of the atrophy. And so he just uses his thumbs, and he actually just types like that. He rests his hands on the keyboard or the desk, however you want to look at it, and he just kind of turns his wrist a little bit, and he types with his thumbs, and he's actually super fast at it. He's way better typer than I am. So if it was just about him working like that would be so great. He would be fine. But unfortunately, it's the vitals, because this is what we were going through at the end of last year when he still was working and hadn't gone on this long stretch of being in the hospital. Before November, he would work 2 or 3, and then he'd go hyperthermic, and then home health would be like, you got to take him in, they have to put him on the bear hugger. That's the only way we can get his temp up. So then he'd miss the next 2 days of work, and then he would work 1 or 2 days out of each work cycle, because he would constantly have his vitals crash. He would either become hypothermic, very hypoglycemic to where it's dangerous, and then they had this cornstarch mixture that I was supposed to give him when he would go low. And so I'd have to run to the cabinet, mix up the cornstarch, hurry up and give it to him. And then we'd have to recheck blood sugar. And, and if it doesn't go up in a certain amount of time, they want us to call 911. It was a mess. So he worked very spotty for several months before his boss was like, I really think you should do long-term disability or short-term disability, because I really you don't have any more BDO left, and this thing isn't going away. So that's when we got him, right around the holidays. We got him on the short-term disability, or right after the holidays, I should say. So February is when we filed for short-term, because he did have PTO in January. And then February we filed for short-term, and then it didn't pay out until June. So, and now we're on the same roller coaster with it again, trying to get it, and then just wait for the disability to go through, however long it takes, 2-3 months, and then just hope and pray that you can make it, until the next one is approved, because it constantly has to be reapproved. So that part's a little bit stressful, but his life isn't stable enough to finish work cycles. Okay, and I'll answer one more. I know there was more questions, and I'm sorry, but I don't want this video to be too long. I know there was a question about autonomic failure, and that's something I plan on asking the doctor about, because I'm actually not sure if that's something that could pertain to Tony's illness. It sounds kind of like what's happening, because your vitals are all supposed to be automatic, and so if there's autonomic failure, it just kind of sounds like something that might be happening with Tony. I'm really not sure, but I do plan on asking and looking into that. So thank you for commenting that. And for those of you who shared your stories of being a caregiver or going through a medical mystery yourself, or an illness yourself that lasted a really long time and you had a huge recovery, just all the people that shared stories, all our friends on here, thank you so much. Reading through that is so encouraging. Like, on the one hand, I'm so sorry that you went through that. That's terrible. And I'm some of these stories are so profound, and I can't believe that so many other people have gone through journeys like this. But on the other hand, you know, I was grateful that you shared it, because it really helped me not to feel alone, and it also helped me understand by how you described like some of the ways that you coped and the ways that you got through it, and also the kinds of support that you found useful. So I really appreciate you being vulnerable enough to share your stories in the comments, because that really has helped me as I've read through them. Thank you for those of you who have donated to our GoFundMe fundraiser that I have in my description box, and for all of you who are supporting our channel by watching this video and watching our old videos. We appreciate that so much. Thank you from the bottom of our heart. So I'll see you guys next week with a new video, and I'm gonna let Tony say goodbye to you in his message for you guys right after this. Bye guys, I love you.
Hey guys, Tony coming to you live. Or barely alive, no, just kidding. But just wanted to check in and say hi to y'all, and thank you for continuing watching our channel, and for all of your prayers, goodwill, and thoughts. And because we think about you guys all the time too, and we miss you. So thank you again, and we hope you all are doing great, and we'll see you soon. All right, and remember to take care of each other. Love you all, and bye.